What's going on? I'm going to do a real quick project rundown, kind of everything that we're working on right now, things that we're going to be coming in the next several weeks and stuff that I'm going to be working on. So I've got plenty to keep me busy. First things first is the 350Z that we've been working on for the past several weeks. The last time you guys saw it, the engine was sitting out of it on the stand and we had to kind of put the oil pan and everything back on. Well, we worked on it this last weekend and now it's back together. For the most part, we're going to button some things up and kind of cross our T's, dot our I's on it. So the agreement on this one is the customer wants to work on it. It's a young kid. He's pretty hungry. He wants to learn. He's going to school for auto mechanics, but he wanted somebody to kind of mentor him. So the agreement was I'd basically charge him less and kind of show him things. I know a lot of mechanics don't do that. A lot of mechanics don't want the customer around, and typically I wouldn't prefer it. But again, he wants somebody to mentor him, and he's a very hungry kid. So that was the agreement there, and so that's what we're doing. This next weekend, we're going to, kind of like I said, button everything up and hopefully get it running, get it out of here. This is my ongoing project that's just going to be a very, very long, drawn-out thing. This is my 85 C10. As you can see, I've welded cab core rockers. I've yet to weld the cab corner in on this side. This one is a fun little project, and it's kind of a mess right now. This is my frame. I chopped it down from a long bed, and now it's a short bed, and I went ahead and welded it. I'm going to do a lot more videos on that. I've kind of not included a whole lot of anything on that one. But it's an ongoing project. I'm always going to be working on it. I'm always going to have something going on with it. And right now, I'm waiting on stuff to come back from the machine shop because I've got, boom, a 6-liter I'm going to be building for it. I've got everything I need to finish it out, with the exception of the stuff in the machine shop. What I did was I took a Gen 3 crank. It's an LQ4, so it's a Gen 3 LS, and I put Gen 4 rods on it. They're a bit stronger, but in doing that, you've got to have it all balanced. I'm all about doing things the right way. I probably could have slapped it all together and said, yep, it's fine. But at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure everything was right, so I went ahead and had everything balanced. It's been at the machine shop for the past 5 weeks, which is, I think, kind of ridiculous, but either way, when it comes back, we'll get it put back together. I've got a set of heads at the machine shop right now that are getting done. They should be done. So stay tuned for that because it's going to be a fun little build. It'll be a rowdy little engine. So anyways, right now I'm kind of working on this Polaris Sportsman 570. It's a 2019. I've got all the plastics off the front of it. We're having an intermittent misfire, backfire at low RPM. Now, if I let it sit and idle, sometimes it'll just sit there and die. It'll buck and it'll run really bad and then it'll die. But on low RPMs, it just backfires and this is really bad. Now, when I say that, it only does it sometimes. So it's not doing it all the time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to check fuel pressure. Very first thing, I'm going to pop this line off here. This is the line for the fuel pump. Pop it off. Rig up something for a fuel pressure, and I'm going to check fuel pressure on it. Just make sure I'm getting that 58 PSI that Polaris likes. If not, then I'll replace the pump. If I am, I'm going to be pulling my hair out to try to figure out exactly what else is wrong with it. But like I said, in the high RPMs, it runs phenomenal. I mean, it runs perfectly. So, you know, that's cool. That's the stuff that I've got in the shop right now. And I'll take you outside and kind of show you what we've got going outside of the shop. This is stuff that's going to be coming in the next several weeks, but nothing too soon. These are all my personal vehicles. I say my personal, they're the dealership's vehicles, and they obviously need some work. I got this 2003 Chevy Avalanche. It was my mom's for the past several years. She's decided that she's done with it and she wants to sell it, so she sold it to me. The thing that it needs is basically a whole front end. So it needs tie rod ends, it needs ball joints, it needs control arms. And I'm going to do that. I've got it all sitting in the shop right now. I've had it for several weeks, and I'm going to go ahead and get that taken care of on it. Runs phenomenal, drives really well, with the exception of the front end issues. But like I said, it goes down the road pretty decently, like I say. And then I got this 2003 Chevy Silverado single cab long bed. I bought this one online on an auction, and it sits there and it cranks 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 and doesn't start until I put starter fluid in the throttle body. So that tells me that there's a solid chance. In fact, everything that I know tells me that it's a fuel pump. So I've got one on the way, and we'll get it going, get it running and driving, and kind of assess what else it needs, because it's, you know, don't really know what all it needs until it runs and drives. And so yeah, it could very well need a transmission too. So I could have gotten screwed on this deal. But yeah, interior is pretty rough. So it's gonna get a new seat, new steering wheel, a very, very good detail. Probably do some body work on it too. Just get it nice. It'll be a really great work truck for somebody. I've kind of tinkered a little bit with this guy. This is a 2002 Audi. Now, correct me, or don't correct me, because I feel like I'm right. Is it pronounced Audi or Audi? Everything tells me, you know, everything I know about German, which I don't know much, but I think it's Audi. But correct me if I'm wrong, or you think I'm wrong, because I just don't think I am. But I've been corrected a couple times by a couple of different people, so it's the great debate, as it were. So this one I bought, it was a police impound. I bought it from Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and it'd been sitting for like 5-6 years. And so I got it at home, threw a battery in it, and it cranks and it cranks and it cranks and it cranks, and that's all it does is crank. So I yoinked the fuel pump out of it, right? And every single hose and line that was connected to the fuel pump internally broke. It was brittle. Actually, some of them were already broken. So that tells me that we were drawing fuel up and dumping it back into the tank. So if the fuel pump was working, it wasn't drawing fuel up to the engine. It was just drawing it from the tank and back down. So I've got a fuel pump on the way. I've got a full tune-up kit for both this and the 03 Silverado. Plugs, wires, air filter, oil changes. I've got it all ready to go. You know, everything is on its way. So those are some vehicles that I'll be working on in the next several weeks. And I'll do hopefully some video footage, as it were, on it. And then my next deal is my 2004 GMC Yukon. It's been wrecked multiple times, numerous times. The story on this thing is my family bought it in 2007. It's a 2004. We bought it in 07. It had like 60,000 miles on it, I think, when we bought it. And now it's got 256,000 miles. And it's just a beast, man. It's a tank, but it's been wrecked so many times. Clean title. But it's been wrecked so many times that I need to replace the whole front clip. I've got a radiator support and a passenger side fender. They're the wrong paint code variant. I went ahead and put the whole front clip on it years ago when it was totaled prior, and it's the wrong paint variant, so I'm going to repaint all of that. It needs a front end as well, just like the Avalanche, so I've already got that. When I bought the stuff for the Avalanche, I went ahead and bought the stuff for the Yukon too, so I'm going to be doing 2 GMT 800 front ends, which is fine. It's totally fine. But this thing is, I want to get it really nice, because like I said, we've had it for several years. We're going on 18 years now with this thing, and 200,000 miles on it. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about it. You know, you always hear a bunch about these 4L60Es kind of being garbage. This one has never been serviced. It's never had a fluid flush, never had a fluid change, never had a filter change, never had anything done to it. And I know that's not right. That's wrong. You've got to get them serviced. But, you know, I bought it from my parents, probably 8 years ago. Probably 8 years ago at this point, I bought it from them, and it had 180,000 miles on it whenever I bought it from them. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm not servicing that transmission. Forget that. But now it's turned into me trying to see just how far I can go on the 4L60E without having any of that done. You always hear about them being piles of garbage, but I just don't think they are. I've never had really bad luck with the 4L60E, and this one's been a testament to that. So I want to see just how far I can get on this transmission without blowing it up, or before I blow it up, because I think it's going to happen. At some point, at some point this transmission is going to be shelled out, or it's going to shell itself out. So this is a personal vehicle of mine. It's not going to be a huge priority for me. Nothing ever is. It's mine. Look at my 85 C10. My 85 C10 was my first truck. I bought it when I was 15 years old. I drove it around my sophomore year of high school, and then I blew the engine up, and I rebuilt a 383 stroker for it, and drove it around just a little bit. I probably put 15, 20 miles on that engine, nothing crazy. And I was like, oh, I want to, restore the body. And yeah, man, that was like 15 years ago. So not quite that long ago. I guess it'd be 13 years, but still. I haven't done anything with it. I've done very little to it. I lowered it and I chopped the frame, and it's not been a huge priority for me, and I feel guilty about it. I'm not going to lie. I feel pretty bad. But either way, and then I got the old pig. The old pig. 99 Dodge Ram 2500 with a Cummins turbo diesel. Interior is god-awful. So it needs an interior in it. Sounds good. Runs pretty good. There's not a whole lot that it needs. Not a whole lot I'm willing to do to it right now. But yeah, that's where we're at with projects, and I've always got something going on. And I'll always continue to have stuff going on just because that's the nature of the beast. I like playing with stuff. I like getting into stuff and regretting it. You know how it is. But yeah, follow along. Keep an eye on the channel and keep an eye on the page. And like I said, we'll always be getting into something. So stay tuned.